Greetings, programs. My name is Wretch, and I'd like to welcome you to An English Haunting. This is a new point-and-click adventure game by Postmodern Adventures, which just released on Steam, and as you can tell, it is fairly creepy, to say the least. I haven't had a horror-based point-and-click adventure game on the channel here in quite a bit. Usually I kind of tap into the Lovecraftian genre, but I haven't done anything in this kind of post-Victorian supernatural vibe. So I'm looking forward to checking this out. This apparently is set in the early 1900s. There is a creepy doll. Oh god. Let's do this. London, 1907. University campus. Don't know which one though. Thus, with this method, we can determine the time of death within a margin of an error of 2 hours. You should ask, Cooper. Me? Why not you? Hughes? Cooper? It'd be interesting if you'd share your doubts with the class. Look what you achieved. Bah, coward. Professor Moore. Is it true that you and Professor Ward are devoted to hunting ghosts? My, you have been badly informed. We are devoted to studying them, not to hunting them. Rubble, rubble. That's nonsense. Ghosts don't exist. Do you have any conclusive evidence that can substantiate that statement, Mr. Cooper? They're a myth, an invention of mankind to scare those of weak mind. Those of weak mind, eh? All right. Let's see. How many of you believe in God? You can raise your hands. All of you. Well, perhaps you should be studying theology and not forensic medicine. You can lower your hands. I suppose you think the mere belief in him confirms his existence. Is there any supporting evidence? Any photographs? Have any of you seen him taking a stroll in Hyde Park? Has anyone talked to him? The Pope? Okay, let's set that witness aside for the moment. No one in history has been able to prove it. The only proof we have is faith, and that regrettably won't do. Look, gentlemen. Neither I nor Professor Ward assert that ghosts exist. We're cautious with regard to the matter, even if we have reliable witnesses and there are a large number of cases. Are those arguments enough to accept this as a fact? No. We would be falling into the same trap you fell into with respect to God. We investigate these claims with the best tool science has provided us. That is, the scientific method. A method I advise you to use before compulsively raising your hands to defend your beliefs. I don't think my father would agree with all this blasphemy. Your father agrees with the idea that students from poorer classes should never be allowed into a university, as well as agreeing to use child labor in his factories. So, with due respect, Mr. Turner, you can take your father's opinion and... Come in. I'm sorry to interrupt, Patrick. It's quite all right. What do you need? Look, the dean wants to see you. Can't it wait? The lecture's almost over. It's a delicate matter, Patrick. Is it about Rose? No, it has nothing to do with Rose. What a relief. I was starting to worry. Talk to him, would you? I'll take care of the lecture. What were you teaching? The scientific method. Apparently, these gentlemen don't get it yet. Very well. Some sass on the guy. Well, gentlemen, the scientific method... One moment. What? Who is he talking to? Press F1 for instructions. Left button, interact, talk to, select. Do we have a ghost, like, right off the bat? Place the cursor at the upper edge of the screen, select an object, and use it with an eye for description. Alright, looks pretty... like the tried and true classic point-and-click formula. A selection of the many championship sports trophies the university has won. I can see the polo trophy we won against Harvard in '84. I also remember that cup. We won it for cricket against Middlesex. By the way, apologies if I'm going to be butchering pronunciation or accents or anything else, guys. I'm just trying my best, alright? Tom Lee. Mr. Lee. Mr. Lee?
Sorry, I didn't hear you. I was admiring the trophies. Did you know the university won the Greco-Roman Wrestling Championship in '89?
I did not.
We haven't won since.
Such a pity. There are more trophies in the hall. Why do I always find you in front of this cabinet?
They're pretty, don't you think?
Excuse me?
The wrestling trophies.
Ah, yes, I suppose they are.
It's such a point of pride for the university, right?
Yes, of course. Can I inquire about your obsession with trophies?
I want to win one. I mean, I want the university to win one in my discipline, Greco-Roman wrestling.
What's preventing you from participating in a championship? I understand you're a good wrestler.
Manager Taylor. He doesn't want to be embarrassed like in '96.
What happened in '96?
Oxford humiliated us. They defeated all our wrestlers. Manager Taylor doesn't want that to be repeated.
And in his view, the most sensible thing to do is not to compete.
It makes no sense, right? Especially if they have me. I'm the best wrestler the university has had in years.
Ooh, do we have our first task? I might be able to convince the manager.
I'd very much appreciate it. Tell him Oxford won't stand a chance against me. I'm big and relentless. And strong.
You look strong, yes.
Of course I do. The strongest in the university. Do you want to see? Test me.
There's no need, I trust you.
Bring me a metal rod and I'll bend it for you.
I don't have one, but don't worry. I'll do what I can to persuade Manager Taylor.
Many thanks, Professor.
So the manager won't count on you?
This is unfair. I'm big and relentless.
Oh, and strong, Bar of iron. So if we need anything bent, we'll go talk to Mr. Lee here. Have a nice day, Mr. Lee.
You too, Professor Moore.
Oh, whoops. I think I went to the WASD keys just out of habit, and I think I changed it to Spanish. Statue, there we go. It was a gift from Raymond Baxter, former pupil and famous sculptor. It represents a certain Celt deity celebrating the winter solstice. The board has threatened to retire this pagan figure several times to the pupil's dismay. Every 21st of December, they fill the statue's bowl with whiskey and parade in front of it, paying their respects. Mr. Cook. My colleague, Nelson Ward. Former chief coroner of Scotland Yard and one of the most distinguished figures in the faculty. What are you doing for Professor Ward's portrait, Mr. Cook?
Haven't you heard? Of course not. You've been shut up all day in that lecture room. Get inside and they'll bring you up to date. It's a scandal. A scandal, I say.
Apparently it bared repeating. Sir Philip Abercrombie, illustrious professor of organic chemistry and candidate for the Nobel Prize in 1903 for his work on brain connections. Raymond Price. John Thomas Algivy, the best surgeon in London Hospital, taught here between 1880 and 1890. When he retired, he donated huge quantities of medical material, which we still use today for internships. Mr. Price. Professor Moore? Studying?
Yes. Well, no. I'm reading a treatise on medieval churches. And,
let me see. My dear Gregory, I am telling you the unvarnished truth. I believe I am now familiar with the extreme limits of terror and revulsion that a man can endure without losing his mind.
I'm sorry,
Don't worry, Mr. Price. Don't be ashamed of reading M.R. James. He's a national treasure. Continue with your reading.
Thank you, Professor Moore.
I didn't want to go through the big door just yet. Oh god, we're going down. The dean is waiting for me in his office. On this very floor. Yeah, I guess all roads lead into the door. Ah, Professor Moore. Good afternoon. Good afternoon, Dean Carter. Rector Williams. A pleasure. Good afternoon, Professor Moore. You can get a chair from the back and... It won't be necessary. This meeting will be brief. Explain the facts, Dean Carter. Look, This week the university received a generous donation for the Metapsychic Investigations program run by you and Professor Ward. £5,000. That's amazing. It would be if not for a terrible event. All that money has disappeared from the Bank of England. What? We've demanded an explanation and they've confirmed the money was withdrawn yesterday by your colleague. What? We wanted to speak with Professor Ward, but he didn't appear today for his lectures. Let's try to remain calm, gentlemen. The professor might simply be... We've been trying to locate him all day. He's vanished. He's run off with the money. It's an unprecedented scandal. Are you sure it was Professor Ward? Someone could have impersonated him. There are witnesses, and the signature with which the money was withdrawn is undoubtedly his. Lest we forget, his whereabouts are unknown. We believe in presumption of innocence and respect it, but in this case... I'm sorry, Professor Moore. This is the unvarnished truth. How could he withdraw the money? He's just a teacher. He shouldn't be authorized. At one time, he combined his teaching job with the position of deputy treasurer. That was years ago, and he resigned. Nevertheless, he was still registered at the Bank of London. We suspect he took advantage of that to commit this... crime. Why would he do that? That is exactly what we're wondering. Who donated the money? We only know it's from a group of intellectuals from London society. Nothing else. It appears they had no intention of making it public. And given the circumstances, they prefer to keep it that way. Get to the point, Dean Carter. Yes. I'm sorry to tell you that as a result of this matter, the board is considering eliminating your Metapsychic Investigations department. But it can't be. It is. My predecessor authorized this department because of the immaculate career of Professor Ward. Sir Archibald Ellsworth would roll over in his grave if he knew of this infamy. Surely you didn't presume to hope we'd keep this nonsense going after what happened, did you? I understand there's discomfort with Professor Ward, but I'm part of the department too. It isn't fair that I should be blamed for acts for which I'm not responsible. We know, Patrick, but... Patrick? You mean Professor Moore? And I would beseech you not to challenge the board. However, as a courtesy to you, we wish your exit from the department to be as... Stop with this rubbish, Dean Carter. You have 72 hours to prove that your ghosts exist. If you don't present us with material proof by that deadline, forget about your department. 72 hours? That's not time enough to prove what no one has ever proven throughout the entire history of mankind? That is your problem, and express your thanks to Dean Carter. He's the one who proposed it. If it were up to me, I would brick up that circus right now with my own hands. Damn it! We're the laughingstock of every university in the United Kingdom. Let them laugh all they want, Vice-Chancellor Williams. They only display their ignorance. Do you want some advice? Forget about those ghost fantasies and focus on your work as a teacher. You are the best teacher of forensic medicine in all of London. Focus on your work, for God's sake. This is a serious institution. Superstition has no place here, and neither do your progressive ideas. Are you aware that we've received complaints from some students' fathers because of your radical ideas? What's wrong with being a progressive? Isn't it part of the university motto? Knowledge, improvement, progress? Don't be a wise arse with me, and remember who you're talking to. Well, that went well. 72 hours, Professor Moore. Prepare yourself to say goodbye to a fantasy that never had any place in an institution as respectable as this one. "72 hours. 72 hours, Henry. It's humiliating. Why didn't they just close the department immediately?" I have more bad news to tell you. Really? There's more? Your department has been sealed. You won't be able to use any of the resources inside. Damn it, Henry! Couldn't you... I can't. If someone sees you there, they'll know it was me who conceded, and that would put me in a awkward situation. The board is treating this matter very seriously, and I don't want my position to be jeopardized. I beg you to understand. Yes, I do. I didn't mean to put you in a predicament. I'm sorry. I know the search for the great beyond is your life, but I'm sure adversity will stretch your intellect even further. I don't know how, but try to find proof, please. If it's strong enough, I'll show it to the board and they'll be forced to keep the department open. Oh, and we're free. That was quite an exposition dump. I wonder if Professor Ward is still in London. That's the same thing I want to know. How many of these have you written? The ones on the first shelf. And part on the second one, too. Ghosts, Reality or Myth by Dr. Henry Carter. Does Williams know you wrote this one? Oh, yes, he's even read it. Really? Well, actually only the prologue. Then he gave me a lecture with more words than are in the book. Anything on the desk? Oh. The Jewel of Seven Stars by Bram Stoker. The Great God Pan by Arthur Machen. In a Glass Darkly by Joseph Sheridan Lefano. Williams would be angry if he saw you devoted time to these readings while working. Ah, these books. I just received an order from that new library near the London Archaeological Society. Do you know it? No. You should see for yourself. There's some genuine jewels. I'll do that. Anything else? Nope. I won't be able to prove the great beyond exists in such a short time without the professor's help. I need to find him. Maybe I can discover something that will help me find him at his home on Dorset Street. Do we have fast travel, or what just happened there? Desperately seeking Nelson Ward, set forth on an adventure! So did this get sealed up? Can we not go in here anymore? Oh, yes we can. Cabinets. We might as well grab as much as we can from the office before we set out. You need to be careful handling these anatomical skeletons because they're very fragile. I got an arm. It's full of flasks and test tubes. What is a flask of sulfuric acid doing here? It should be in the lab. Alright, we got an arm and a thing of sulfuric acid. We are ready to go. Point me to all of the clues and puzzles. I believe it's time to get rid of this old eraser. Queen Victoria's reign was so long and her personage is still so present that no one dares to take down her portrait yet. Our king, Edward VII, crowned 6 years ago. Better late than never, he must have thought. The one on the top is Atlas of Human Anatomy by Dr. Oswald de Fraise. I use it to illustrate my lectures. The one on the bottom is The Empty House and Other Ghost Stories by Algernon Blackwood. It serves me to help me evade them. Okay, we'll go talk to Frank here in a second. The first 4 drawers are full of anatomy prints. The rest are intended for school materials. Frank.
Bad news, right?
Worse. The board is threatening to close down the Metapsychic Investigations Department if I don't present irrefutable proof within 72 hours.
Proof of what?
Of the existence of the great beyond.
Ugh, damn idiots. That's an impossible time frame. How dare they?
That despicable Williams will end up getting what he wants. What do you think of what Professor Ward did?
Are you asking me if I believe he's innocent?
Is he?
What do you think?
I think neither of us is answering a single question.
I don't know, Patrick. Nelson Ward is famous for being eccentric and impulsive. But that, of course, doesn't make him a miscreant.
So you do think he's innocent?
The evidence of the crime is unequivocal. Though simultaneously, I believe that if he committed such misconduct, he must have had a good reason.
Or simultaneously.
Not just the financial one.
What reason?
I cannot begin to fathom. I only hope this makes some sense.
Have you seen any ghosts lately?
God willing. This would be easy, right? How long has the Metapsychic Investigations Department been running? 3? 4 years?
4.
and they want to solve the great mystery of life after death within 72 hours. They neither want to nor intend to. If I've been given that time frame, it's because Henry interceded. If only you could succeed. I'd like to see the faces of those decrepit geezers when you show them undeniable proof.
I think I didn't know Professor Ward enough. We had a very close relationship, but it was purely professional. I don't know a single thing about his life apart from him being the chief coroner of Scotland Yard before becoming a teacher. If I had taken even a mild interest in him, I might have detected signs of what he would do.
Don't punish yourself with that, Patrick. Nelson was very reserved. I doubt anyone in the faculty really got to know him.
I don't know how I can face this research against the clock.
I don't want to be untactful, but that's an endeavor doomed to fail. I mean, to this day, no one has been able to find any conclusive evidence of the existence of a great beyond. Perhaps in the future we could resolve the matter, but not in such a short time.
I need to find the professor. I can't do this alone. We were a team.
How about asking for help from the British Society of Paranormal Studies?
I doubt they would assist. Neither the professor nor I are welcome there.
Because of that damned article. What about Richer? He always supported you. That he could be a valuable ally in this quest.
Charles? He's not in London at the moment.
No? Damn.
Any ideas that might help my research?
Well, now that I think about it, Nelson mentioned having found a place worth investigating.
Do you remember where it could be?
I think it was located in central London. A house, maybe? I don't recall. I was having a busy day when he told me about it, and I didn't pay enough attention. I'm sorry I'm not helping.
Don't worry. Thank you for always supporting me.
I know of only two people who could prove the existence of the great beyond. And one of them is Nelson. You are the other. So you shall always have my support in everything you do.
I should get going.
If I can do anything for you.
I understand, Frank. I appreciate it.
That was a nice, wholesome conversation. I thought we were going to be locked out of this area. So let's go ahead and take a look at this. Skeleton arm. Part of the arm of an anatomical skeleton in 1/1 scale. Great. Love it. Flask of sulfuric acid, very corrosive, handle with care. The felt has collected too much chalk powder. The eraser dirties instead of cleans. Interesting. Can we talk to anyone about this?
Mr. Cook.
Yes?
Did they order you to remove the portrait of Professor Ward?
And what do you think?
I think yes.
Exactly.
Who ordered it?
Who do you think?
Vice Chancellor Williams.
Exactly.
Do you need help? I see you're finding it hard to remove a simple portrait.
Do you think old Cook isn't smart enough to take down a picture?
Of course not.
Exactly. Wait a moment. Does that mean I am or I'm not?
You're smart enough to take down a portrait.
Ah, good. Some genius thought it'd be better to attach the paintings with glue instead of a pair of hook screws. In his defense, I'll say that not for anything in the world would I've suspected one of these illustrious professors was a filthy thief. You've already been informed, have you?
Sadly.
Who would have thought, huh? Though it's not like it comes as a total surprise frequenting the places he did. But I'll manage to take down his portrait, but with no tool. One only needs to know how to apply force. Thus said Pythagoras, give me a place to stand and I shall move the world.
That was Archimedes.
You don't need to correct me. I'm not one of your pupils.
What places did Professor Ward frequent?
A pub for one, in the East End. The Red Lion. Someone of his stature visiting such establishments. How embarrassing. And in the company of a tart.
Wait, one moment. What tart?
A courtesan, I guess. They seemed quite close. She is surely his accomplice.
How do you know that?
Rumors travel as fast as bad news.
I need to find that woman. She might know where I can find Professor Ward.
If you find her, give her to the police. I already told you she surely has something to do with the money theft.
I'm actually very proud that I didn't give him a voice like Willie from The Simpsons. Are you entirely certain you don't need any help with the portrait?
Do you want me to help you marking exams to help you with that?
There's no need to.
Exactly.
Well, then carry on with your work. Alright guys, well, we've got some leads already, and I guess it'll be time for the good professor to clear his friend's name or figure out what's going on here. But I hope you all have enjoyed it. If you liked the episode, please leave a like down below. Subscribe to the channel, leave a comment, that'd be a big help. And we'll see you next time. Later days, everyone.